The film starts with a girl named Sarah, who was sitting with her son named Josh in the park, eating French fries, when suddenly, a helicopter passed above them in the sky. She began to tremble while looking at the helicopter and started remembering the days when she was an army officer. During one mission, many of her companions were killed, due to which she was still traumatized. She was the only survivor of a Taliban-led attack on a U.S. military base in Afghanistan. She was still indulged in the thoughts of those days in the park, when suddenly, one of the boys who was playing with his family accidentally hit Sarah. Sarah grabbed the boy by both his arms and pushed him to the floor. Then suddenly, she realized that she had done something wrong, and therefore she apologized to the boy. She then took her son and went home. 4 years went by since this event. Sarah was doing strength workouts at her home. After that, she took her medicine and placed a toy in the hand of her sleeping son. She was taking him to the consulate office to apply for a work visa for herself and Josh. While she was walking along with her son, she received a voice message from a journalist named Iral, who worked at Clarative. He told her that he had some information about her last mission, with the help of which they could find out how the enemy had attacked them. He also sent her a video. Sarah began to watch the video while walking with her son, when she suddenly felt that Josh was not there. She looked around in worry and found him. She held his hand and told him to stay close. She then took him inside the Consulate General of the United States of America. She placed her bag inside a locker and took a seat to wait for their turn. Sarah's son got bored. So Sarah took him to the playroom, left him there, and told him that she would be back in 10 minutes. She went out to get a coffee. While drinking her coffee, she saw a boy handing over a bag to a woman near the door of a restricted area. After handing over the bag, the boy began to walk around normally. Sarah was suspicious of them, but she ignored it and went back to the playroom to get her son. When she went back to the playroom, she was shocked to see that her son was not there. She began to search every room and every office for her son, but she could not find him. He was lost. Some officers came to her and asked her what had happened. She told them that she was looking for her son and thought he might have gone to hide in the restricted area, and she requested them to open the restricted door, but they refused. She told them that she wanted to meet their supervisor. After some time, Regional Security Officer Eric, along with Sergeant Donovan, came to her and asked about her son. She told them about her 6-year-old son, Josh, who had gone missing there. Eric instructed all his staff to look for her son. She requested him to open the restricted door, telling him that a woman had opened that door earlier, and she believed her son might have gone there too. He did not open the restricted door, and told her that the door was not allowed to be opened. He was still explaining this to her when Sergeant Donovan, standing behind Eric, whispered something in his ear. Eric then took Sarah to the office, where Sergeant Donovan told her that she had come to the embassy alone, and her son was not with her because there was no mention of her son in the entry record, not even in the CCTV footage. He told her that in the CCTV footage, she was walking alone. She then requested him to call the German police. Eric made a call to the German police and handed the phone to Sarah. Sarah filed a complaint with the German police about her missing son, but they told her that the embassy was exterritorial to them and they could not do anything there. It was considered American territory. The only thing they could do was send police officers to the entrance to escort Sarah out of the embassy. Sarah got up and tried to run, but Eric stopped her and told her to wait along with Sergeant Donovan until the police arrived to take her. After some time, the sergeant also left the room, locking the door behind him. Sarah took advantage of this situation and called her mother, telling her to contact the government or the police because the American embassy had kidnapped her son. Hearing this, her mother was shocked and asked whether she was taking her medicine. Hearing that, Sarah became irritated and angry and shouted because nobody believed her. Actually, Sarah used to have hallucinations due to stress and would get visions and stories in her mind. Sarah needed to get out of the office, so she began searching for something in the room to open the door. She found a safety pin, straightened it, and opened the lock with its help. She went again to the play area to look for her son, where she found the toy she had given him in the morning. Seeing that, her belief became stronger that she had brought her son there. Now she walked into every room, breaking the CCTV cameras on her way, searching for her son. She jumped out of a window and saw a glass dome on the ground, then entered the underground room. She looked around and opened the door of a locked room, where she saw a girl named Irina. Irina began to scream upon seeing Sarah, but Sarah put her hand over Irina's mouth to stop her from shouting, apologized to her, and told her that she was looking for her son. As she was about to leave, Irina stopped her and told her that she had been trapped there for 2 months and knew the way around. If Sarah wanted, she could help her find her son, but in return, Sarah had to take her outside. The general of the embassy, Alan, came to know that Sarah was breaking locks and CCTV cameras inside the embassy, and that she had once been an agent of the special forces. So, the general called Eric and told him that they should call the police and hand Sarah over to them. Otherwise, she could create serious problems for them. But Eric said they would not call the police because if the police got involved, many criminal charges would be applied to her, and she would not be able to get a job in the future. Her career would be ruined. Meanwhile, Irina and Sarah decided to go to the warehouse. Irina told Sarah that they would need an access card. But that was not a problem for Sarah. She rushed forward, attacked a security guard, and after making him unconscious using her combat skills, she took his card. With the help of the access card, they moved easily into each room. They went to the warehouse where Sarah checked the truck schedule posted on the wall. She realized that no truck had left since Josh went missing, so he must still be inside. Irina asked Sarah how she would help her escape. Sarah told her they would smuggle her out in the next truck. Sarah began looking around for clues to find her son, and found the same symbol on a locker that she had seen on the shirt of the woman to whom the boy handed the bag near the restricted door. She broke open the locker and found the bag inside. She was shocked to see that there were drugs in the bag. Sarah thought Josh might have looked inside the bag, which was why they had taken him. So she changed her plan and decided to talk to security. Irina asked her again how she would help her escape. But Sarah apologized and told her she could not help her anymore because she needed to clear things up to find her son, and if Irina escaped, it would create more chaos. Meanwhile, two men rushed towards Irina to kidnap her. Sarah found it quite strange but rushed toward them and began to attack them. She realized that they were trying to kidnap Irina. She was confused as to why the embassy would lock a girl inside. But before Sarah could ask anything from Irina escaped. Eric, along with the sergeant, arrived, but before Sarah could say anything, Eric came close to her and injected something into her back. Sarah lost consciousness. When she opened her eyes, she found herself lying on a bed with both hands locked to its sides. In front of her stood Alan and Eric. Sarah told them about the drugs and how two men had tried to kidnap a girl named Irina. She told them that she believed these events were connected to the abduction of her son. Then told Sarah that she had spoken to her mother just a few moments earlier, and her mother had revealed that Sarah had post-traumatic stress disorder, which caused hallucinations and memory loss. This condition had developed after her failed mission in Afghanistan. Alan also told her that her husband had died there. Sarah told them that it had nothing to do with her condition and that she needed to find her son immediately. Sarah requested to see the CCTV footage of the embassy. They showed her the footage, and in every recording, she was seen walking alone. Her son was not with her. Watching the footage, she began to doubt herself and thought that perhaps she had hallucinated the entire incident of bringing her son there. She eventually fell asleep due to the sedative given to calm her. In the morning, Sarah's eyes opened to the sound of someone untying her feet. It was Irina, who had arrived and told Sarah that Donovan had interrogated her last night and had covered up all the evidence. Irina told her that Sarah was not crazy. She was right, something was indeed wrong. Sarah asked Irina whether she was real and who she really was, because the embassy had said that no guest named Irina existed. Irina told her that her real name was Kira. She came from one of the richest families in Belarus. Her father had laundered money on a massive scale and was a criminal, like many others in the government. However, when her father switched political parties, he was killed by those in power, and Kira was captured. Kira revealed that her father had saved the evidence on a flash drive, and they wanted it. She told Sarah she realized something was wrong when Donovan asked her for her passport. She knew then that the people after her had managed to get her there. Hearing all this, Sarah once again thought she might be hallucinating because she had seen the CCTV footage where she was walking alone. To prove she was real, Kira grabbed a pair of scissors and began poking her own arm. Sarah stopped her and realized that Kira had been telling the truth. Sarah now believed that something was being done to her deliberately. She grabbed Kira's hand. Together, they exited through the window and decided to search for the owner of the drug bag. Kira left a message online for the owner to meet them in order to collect the bag. In the meantime, they received a response. The bag owner wanted to meet them immediately. They decided to meet him in the cafeteria. Kira and Sarah sat at separate tables. The bag owner came and sat with Sarah. She asked about her son. The boy claimed to know where her son was but demanded the drug bag in return. From his anxious behavior, Sarah sensed that he knew nothing about her son. She told him that if he wanted the bag, he would first have to provide an all-access keycard and a map of the embassy. He told her to meet him in the men's room down the hall after some time. While looking around, Sarah noticed Eric sitting at a table with his 8-year-old daughter, Aileen. Both of them were smiling. When they left, Kira and Sarah walked to the table where Eric had been seated. A toy phone, which Eric's daughter had been playing with, was left behind. They picked it up and discovered that it was a voice recorder. They went to the men's washroom, where the boy handed over the map and access card. Using both, they entered the sergeant's room and began checking his computer. There they discovered a file named Sarah. Upon opening it, they found detailed information about her, which proved that the embassy had known about Sarah long before her arrival. They then searched for information on Eric and Alan, and found that Eric was the regional specialist in Islamabad and had served in Afghanistan. Reading that, Sarah remembered the video the general had sent her. She opened the video on the laptop, and they saw footage of Eric sitting in the Cerna Hotel in Islamabad with someone around a table. Sarah immediately recognized the video. It was the same one a journalist had once sent her. She picked up the phone and called the journalist, asking about Eric's connection to the current situation. The journalist revealed that behind the attack on the U.S. military base in Afghanistan was none other than Eric himself. He had leaked their location to the enemy in exchange for money. He told her that the video was evidence against Eric. Sarah looked at the video, but the face of the man sitting in front of Eric was not clear. The journalist assured her that he would send a clearer image of the man sitting with Eric. Meanwhile, the sergeant began moving toward his office. The picture was loading on Kira's laptop when the sergeant arrived and rushed toward them. Sarah grabbed him by the arms, pushed him to the ground, and both she and Kira opened the door and ran to the terrace. By that time, the picture had finished loading, and they began looking at it on the laptop. Upon seeing the image, Sarah recognized the man. It was the head of the Taliban who had attacked her base. She realized that if Eric had been sitting with the head of the Taliban, then it meant Eric had been working with them at that time. She went with Kira to the warehouse, where a truck was being loaded for shipment to other countries. Sarah told Kira to hide in the truck while she distracted the guard. She was still dealing with them when Eric arrived and began beating her. Eric attacked her, and they both fell into the swimming pool. He tried to drown her, but Sarah got up, fought him off, snatched his gun, and pointed it at him. She asked him why he had created such an elaborate plan to kill her. He could have arranged an accident or simply murdered her. His only goal was to eliminate her. Eric asked Sarah why she believed he wanted to kill her and why he would do such a thing. Sarah told him it was because she was the last surviving soldier from Afghanistan and the only eyewitness to the attack in which Eric was involved. She told him that she did not want to harm him, she only wanted her son back. Eric replied that if anything happened to him, she would never see her son again. Hearing that, Sarah hid him and escaped, realizing she had to come up with another plan to find her son. So, she went outside and looked for Eric's daughter. Showing her the toy phone, she engaged her in conversation and took her to the embassy's safe house, where she began to play with her. She locked the door. She had kidnapped Eric's daughter. Sarah informed the control office about the kidnapping through the caller screen on the door. Eric and his colleagues received the news and rushed to the safe house. They all asked Sarah to release the girl. Sarah saw them through the door camera and told them via the intercom that she would not release the child. Alan also asked Sarah to release Eric's daughter. Sarah told her that she would, but in exchange, she wanted a private conversation with Eric. So Sarah released the girl, and Eric quietly entered the room. Sarah told Eric that she knew he wanted to kill her. She said she would rather end her own life, but he must ensure that her son would be handed over to her mother after her death. Eric turned off the room's microphone system, knowing their voices were being transmitted outside and fearing that his secrets might be exposed. He admitted that he had been with the Taliban during the attack and that he was the one who had leaked the location of the U.S. military base to them in exchange for money. He confessed that the mission had been completed, everyone had been killed, and only Sarah had survived. According to him, all the problems had started because of the journalist who discovered the truth and began threatening him. Eric explained that he knew the journalist would eventually tell Sarah everything, so before that could happen, he had planned to kill the journalist. Hearing that, Sarah realized that Eric was the one who had arranged for her to be offered a job in the U.S. so she would come for the visa. Sarah shouted at him to get out, saying that he had killed her husband and the other 8 people at the base. Eric stood up, shot Sarah, then shot himself in the leg and placed the gun in Sarah's hand. He staggered out of the room, pretending that Sarah had attacked him first and that he had shot her in self-defense. Sarah, however, was not dead. She lay wounded on the floor, her mind replaying the memory of seeing her husband lying lifeless on the ground. Eric had forgotten that Sarah was not an ordinary woman. She was a trained military officer. She had recorded his entire confession using Aileen's toy phone. Outside the safe house, everyone believed Sarah was a terrorist. To eliminate her, they began planting explosives at the doors to destroy the safe house. But before they could act, Sarah played the voice recording over the intercom system. Everyone standing outside heard Eric's confession and realized that he had not only deceived Sarah, but had also betrayed the U.S. government. Once the truth about Eric was revealed, the general at the embassy immediately ordered his arrest. Sarah was safely rescued from the safe house, and her son was found and returned to her. She was also provided with proper medical care, which helped her recover. The movie ends with a scene showing Sarah happily video calling Kira before heading to the airport to fly to America. A helicopter passed overhead, but this time she did not experience flashbacks. She smiled while looking up at the helicopter and drove away in the car with her son.